Hey there everyone, this is Michael Duggal, your Greater Toronto Area real estate resource, and in today's market, you need to be updated more than ever, especially if you want to take advantage as a buyer or if you're considering selling your home. We're at the midway point of the year, and so far 2025 is looking far worse than 2024 if we look at the important numbers such as the number of transactions as well as the average price. Currently, the average price in the Greater Toronto Area is $1,012,000, and this value is down 5% from the same time 12 months ago. We're seeing that condos have come down more considerably, and while you may be seeing a lot of scary headlines or hearing about bad stories from one of your friends about their condo, the average condo is only down by about 7% if we compare it to the same period in 2024. Although what's of greater concern is that there is such an abundance of listings right now, and homeowners are listing their property, pricing them competitively, and still not having them sold. And from what I'm seeing from being in the market every single day is that we can't determine market value for a property based on the couple of previous sales. And that's because of the fact that in some areas, values just continuously are declining and there are more listings coming up for sale. And something I've learned from being a full-time top real estate agent over 12 years now is that sellers, they always want more than what their home is worth. And what that means is that they'll look at the 5 previous sales that have taken place in their area, they'll only point to one of them and say, my home is better than that one, therefore I should be pricing my property at this price here, which we know is more than market value. So what we have to understand is that the real estate agents don't control the prices, the sellers don't control the prices, and ultimately your home is worth whatever a buyer is willing to pay for it. And the last thing we want to have is an active listing which isn't getting any showings at all. So one of the things that I do is before listing a property for sale is that I'll pick up the phone and I'll call some of the agents that have listings in the area and I'll ask them, how's the activity on their listing? Are they getting many showings? And if they're not getting any showings at all, then I would advise my seller that this may not be the best time for them to put their property up for sale. And this is a very effective strategy when it comes to timing your listing properly for the market and also knowing when there's no point listing your property because we don't have the supply of buyers out there that may be interested. For example, in York region, we're seeing more detached listings than ever before. And if your listing isn't priced extremely competitive, likely it's going to sit. We're seeing with a lot of these listings, they'll sit for an extended period, say a few months, and then what will happen is the listing will get terminated and it will get relisted at a different price. And therefore, it's pretty easy to understand the buyer psychology right now. When I'm speaking to buyers, the perspective that I'm usually hearing is that we want to wait because we believe values may be declining more in the future, especially now because of globally what's happening with the economy as well as potential war, and they affect the perspective of the investors. And if investors aren't buying because they don't see our market being secure, as a result, we're going to see less sales activity and a lower average price. So getting into the second half of the year is very interesting because usually in July and August, we see the average price come down a little bit more, and then we should see a slight increase in average price as well as the number of transactions in September and October. And this is a very interesting chart because we're gauging how affordable it is to buy a property, and we can see within the past couple of years how much this number shot up, meaning that it was less affordable to own a home. And this is a reflection of the average salary, of course, cost of living, and most importantly, it's affected by our interest rates. So now that interest rates have come down to some extent, buying a home as well as owning a property is a lot more affordable for the average individual. Even though properties are more affordable, when I'm talking to buyers right now, many of them are either losing their jobs, they're scared about the economy, they're concerned about their cost of living, and renting a property is just the safer thing to do right now. Our average rent has actually come down by about 7% within the past 12 months. And before, the attitude of the prospective renters were, we need to save up money to buy a property because it's a great investment. Although now the average renter is thinking that they're pretty happy that they didn't buy a property because values really haven't appreciated too significantly within the past 5 years. We have to go back about 10 years to see where the significant appreciation took place. As always, stay tuned. I'll share with you the June Treb market numbers in my next video. And I'd love to know your thoughts about this real estate market. And if you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me. And if you're a real estate agent looking for a great brokerage for you to have the best training, the best resources and support, make sure to reach out to me to learn more about eXp Realty, and I appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next time.